texted you during the basketball game the other day, and wowzers! Your thoughts on Tennessee basketball right now, because that Auburn game was tough to watch.
As I wrote in my blog, Butch Jones would have loved that game because it was brick by brick. So, but yeah, it was not fun to watch. And here's the concern: that's 2 games in a row. So against Florida, they shot less than 30%. Also, they've had 4 games this year where they shot less than 30%. They've won 2 of them. They beat Maryland when they shot less than 30%, and so they beat one other team when they shot less than 30%, which was Auburn. So, but here's the deal. I understand you're going to have bad nights from 3-point range, right? Tennessee's, 2 or 21, whatever it was. You got to overcome that with 2-point shooting. So that to me is a big concern. Against Texas, for example, Tennessee from 2-point range, 68.5%. Against Florida, they shot less than 31% on twos. Against Auburn, they shot 35.5% on twos. They got to be better around the basket. They got to be better at mid-range. Olivier Comeau can't go 4 for 16. They've got to do better with their inside punch or their 2-point shooting. And if they don't, I don't see this team making much of a run because that's going to catch up to you. Defensively, they're great. Nobody's going to question that. But on offense, when you see that 2 games in a row, boy, it makes you wonder about the offensive efficiency with this team.
Hey, Caleb, let me jump in on one thing as a follow-up. The thing that I think is frustrating for Tennessee fans is if you want to run the inside-outside game, there needs to be an outside. And it feels like when it goes into Kevin McHale, and it's never coming out. I mean, does it not, when you watch them, do you think that that's it? I don't know that I see enough ball rotation once it goes into the post.
Was that for Caleb?
That's for you. I'm sorry, Jim.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I see some of that. Look, Olivier Comeau doesn't have a whole lot of assists. So, yeah, when he gets it inside, he's looking to try to figure out how to score. Their inside-outside game is what Rick Barnes wants to do. They're actually, and Kentucky did this, Kentucky said, we don't care. You can throw it inside. We're going to guard your perimeter. And if you can score twos, fine. We think we can beat you doing that. But one of the things that has been a concern with Tennessee is because they've had that lack of production inside, other teams are continuing to guard the perimeter. And so once they go inside, it's not like they're leaving to double team. They're staying on Ziegler. They're staying on Vescovy. They're staying on James. And so that makes it harder for them to kick it back outside because those guys are not leaving the people on the perimeter. And so unless you are more productive inside, and when they are productive inside on 2-pointers, like they were against Texas, they were a really good basketball team. But when they shoot poorly from 2-point range, they're susceptible to lose to a lot of teams.
Jimmy, one of the things that I think frustrates me watching this team and some of the things that Barnes says, he said it a few times this year. You know, we know Barnes preaches defense and toughness, and he'll tout winning an ugly game and say you got to win games like this. My thing is, in March, you don't win games like that because defense and toughness doesn't win championships in March. Because you run into a team that's red hot shooting the basketball. I don't care how good your defense is. There's nothing you can do. So what is Tennessee going to do if they run into one of those random 8-seed teams from a mid-major conference that has like 4 sharpshooters and they're not missing and they can't buy a bucket on the other end? They have no chance, right?
They're going to go home.
Yeah.
That's the problem that what Tennessee has faced. Look, they've lost to some teams in the NCAA tournament that I thought they should have beat. Michigan a year ago. I mean, the center, Hunter Dickinson, went off for 26 points or whatever. Loyola Chicago should have never beat Tennessee. There have been some games where Tennessee didn't play at the level they needed to. I thought Jay Billis made a good point. ESPN analyst, he was on a teleconference recently. Somebody said, can you win a championship with defense alone? He said, no. You need to be top 20 offense, top 20 on defense. If you're both, that's who wins championship nowadays. It's not a team that's great on defense and not very good on offense. So that's the concern for Tennessee. When they're not hitting, when they're not making shots, and they get into these 48 or 46, 43 games or 54 to 50, I mean, that's anybody's game. And Tennessee has actually probably lost more often in that situation than they've won under Rick Barnes. So, yeah, you've got to find an offense. You've got to find some more consistency. But it's funny, they had a game earlier this year where they shot 69% against Mississippi State, and they beat Mississippi State by, 35 points, whatever it was. So they have capable shooters. The problem is, like against Auburn, when nobody has a good shooting game, in particular from inside, I mean, this team to me, and I thought this before the year, and look, I understand Grant Williams was the SEC Player of the Year, but if you needed a basket and you had a 3 or 4 minute drought, he could get you a basket. Who is that guy on this team? I don't know.
So, Jimmy, I saw your tweet with your granddaughter.
Grandson.
I'm sorry. Aside from a family, what are you most looking forward to doing upon your retirement, which is March 31st, I believe?
Yeah, I'm gonna play more golf. I'm gonna play golf, tennis, and pickleball, and go kayaking, and that's gonna be on Monday. On Tuesday, I'm gonna be really busy. I'm gonna hike Mount LeConte. No, I'm looking forward to doing a lot of those things. I live on a golf course. I got the river across the street. I'm gonna get it back into fishing. I used to fish a lot when I was a kid. I'm just gonna do things when I want to do it. I've picked up pickleball again. I didn't play it for a couple of years, and so I've started to play a little bit more of that and just kind of relax. And Dave, and a lot of people can relate to this. That Monday to Friday during football season, that's a grind. I don't need to be working 65 and 70 hours a week anymore. So that I'm looking forward to spending more time with my wife. We'll travel a lot. She's always wanted to go to the U.S. Open to watch the tennis tournament up in New York. And so she got tired of waiting on me. So a couple of years ago, she went on her own. Well, now I get to go with her. So those are things. And I've got a lot of family in Louisiana and Texas, and I don't get to see them very often. So I'll be doing a lot of traveling as well.
Now, you're right about a 4-hour show. I remember filling in for you, and Friday night, my wife wanted to go out to dinner or something. I was like, no, I'm going to bed. After you're done, your brain is fried. I would challenge you to pickleball, which I just started playing in the past couple of weeks. But a quick story, Jimmy and I were in Philadelphia for the women's Final Four in 2000, and there happened to be a racquetball court in the hotel, which was really weird. And I said, you want to play? And so it was really close. I really can't remember who won. I think you won, or maybe I won one or something. But then at the end of it, Jimmy said, well, maybe sometime I'll get to play with my right hand. And he played left-handed because he had tennis elbow the whole time.
That's true. I was playing. Now, but sometimes when you were in front of me, you didn't see this. I would switch over and hit a right-handed shot. I'm coming clean. I'm finally confessing. But about 80% of my shots were left-handed because because of tennis elbow, I couldn't really hit the ball. But that was a Final Four with Gino Auriemma and Pat Summitt. And you might remember this, but that's when Gino made this quote about, I'm the new restaurant. People want to come here and eat at my place. We got new food, blah, blah, blah. Pat Summitt's the old restaurant. Nobody wants to go eat there anymore, blah, blah, blah. He started making these derogatory comments about Pat Summitt. And boy, that riled up the Vol Nation. But that's the first time I remember him taking shots at Pat Summitt.
I remember Ace Clement getting hurt
yes.
right before the Final Four. I do remember that. I don't remember those Gino comments. And I'm curious. Just sorry to keep you this long, but what do you think of the Lady Vols and Kellie Harper moving forward?
I have concerns. I thought going into this season they had Final Four talent. They've not played like it. They played a tough schedule early, and they didn't beat anybody that was good early. So it's one thing to play a tough. She mentioned the other day, I had a tough schedule because I thought it'd be good to get hit in the mouth once, not 4 or 5 times. And so they haven't been able to get over the hump. Look, the loss of Tamari Key is huge because she was not only a really good rebounder, but she was a great defensive player. I watched them against Mississippi State last night. Mississippi State must have made 15 or 20 layups. That doesn't happen if Tamari Key's out there. I'm having a hard time seeing this team advance very far. They don't play very smart. They don't play with good basketball IQ. They must have had 25 turnovers last night. They have spurts where they look like they're a championship caliber team, and then they have spurts where they lose to a 500 Mississippi State team. So I have concerns about their ability to make a run in the tournament. I don't see them getting past the Sweet 16.
He is Jimmy Hyams on the Sports Animal in Knoxville, WNML, from 3 to 7 until March the 31st. Follow him on Twitter at Jimmy Hyams. Jimmy, appreciate you coming on with us and love the things you're doing for the website. So thank you very much. Again, congratulations. You should be be very, very proud of what you've done. It's been fantastic.
Well, it's nice of you to say. I appreciate that, and I'm just looking forward to doing what I want when I want. But thanks for having me, Dave. Good to visit with you, Caleb. Nice to visit with you. You guys have a great day.
Yeah,
Have
so
a good one, Jimmy.
he's going to beat me at pickleball with his left hand one day. Thank you, Jim. Jimmy Hyams. That was good stuff.